Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the Philly Factor. I'm your host, Paul Perrello. I think today most people would agree that bagels are not just a breakfast food. And for my next guest here on the Philly Factor, I think they could probably attest to that better than anybody else. Pat Moore and Mary Moore, graduates of LaSalle University, both graduating from LaSalle in 2002. They are the proud owners of Moore Bagels, one location in Marlton, New Jersey, and their newest location in Moorestown, New Jersey. And I want to welcome both Pat and Mary to the program. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having
Thanks for
us.
having us.
I think both of you would agree that bagels are not just a breakfast food any longer.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Bagels are breakfast, lunch, and dinner anymore.
Yeah, and we'll get into your offering at your offerings, I should say, at More Bagels, as well as the two locations. We'll give the specific details where people can find More Bagels. But for the two of you, when you were undergraduates at LaSalle, I suspect that being the owner of a bagel shop back when you graduated in '02 was not part of the curriculum or part of the plan when you graduated, was it, Mary?
No, it wasn't. I was in special education elementary major, and Pat was a criminal justice major. And we had high hopes of just working in law enforcement and working in the education field. And we had every outlook in staying in those positions, and it just didn't end up that way. But we considered a huge blessing for our life and for our family that it turned out that we switched into the business world.
And neither of you had any business experience. I mean, there was no family member that was in the bagel shop or donut shop business prior to this. You were just two kids at the time going to LaSalle. Did the two of you obviously met, I guess, at LaSalle? Did you have classes together?
We didn't have
No, I don't
classes
think we ever had
together,
a
but
class
we had
together.
the same friendship
Yeah, a
circles.
lot of friends.
Pat was in
Yeah.
Phi Kappa Theta, and I was in Alpha Sigma Tau, and we met in the Greek cycles, and we kind of just grew up together. We met as freshmen, and by the time we were out of school, he hasn't left my side since. So he's been following me. He always says that I've been following him around for 25 years, but he's really been following me around, I think, for 25 years.
That's a great story. I mean, there's so many different levels to your story. And I happened to come upon a story about More Bagels and the opening of your Moorestown location. Your original location is in Marlton, and believe it or not, I actually um, found this out literally before we started to tape today. But your Marlton location is at the Plaza 70 on Route 70 in Marlton, correct?
Yes. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was just there a few weeks ago, unbeknownst to me that you were there, because my
Right.
doctor's office is right there at the corner, the Cooper office right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Cooper,
Yep.
Yes.
and then today I said, darn, I was just there a few weeks ago. I could have went in there and grabbed, a
Right.
couple of bagels and brought it home. And then, of course, when I told my wife what was on the menu, she really gave me grief about it because I should have went in there and got some bagels. But
Yeah.
so Marlton is your first location then, right?
That's my first one. We opened that in it was actually an established bagel shop for I think almost 70 years with the same family. And
Wow.
we're the second owner. So we
Okay.
kind of when I say we kind of fell into it, we really hit the jackpot on that. But also like if you the Plaza 70, it's literally like the heart of Marlton, a lot of Cherry Hill. So we get all of South Jersey in our shopping center.
Yeah.
So I have
Now,
people that have been coming to the restaurant to the bagel shop for 70 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
Really.
How has the business grown then from taking over a 70-year-old business where I suspect at the beginning of that business 70 years ago, they probably just had maybe plain bagel, maybe sesame, and maybe poppy. Um,
Yeah.
and then when you took it over, how did you expand? I mean, how did you expand the business when you took it over?
Actually, when I took over, I took over in May of 2017, and we closed down for a bit. We put some money into it, and they used to microwave their eggs. And I was like, you can't have a pork, egg, and cheese, bacon, egg, and cheese with microwave eggs. So we put a huge grill in, and everything's fresh off the grill. And I started with 3 employees. I'm up to about 40 employees now. So
That's
we
great.
really and 2 shops, and we're still looking to, continue growing. So we got a lot in the works coming up.
And speaking about growing, you just recently opened your location in Moorestown, New Jersey, correct?
Yeah, we opened a
Yes.
brand new state-of-the-art bagel shop on Main Street in Moorestown. It's in an old brick building on a Main Street in Moorestown. If you ever been there, it's absolutely beautiful. But everything's brand new. It's very precious. It's probably the nicest bagel shop you'll ever go into.
Probably. It's nice. We've been to a lot of bagel shops because
It's
we have a
nice.
lot of friends in the network of begeling, but it's the most amazing place to eat
Yeah.
and enjoy and meet up with friends and family. It's really
A
cool.
lot of kids hang out, school
Yeah.
school sports. We got them all. So
Yeah. We're a big advocate for kids.
yeah,
Me being a teacher and Pat growing up with athletics and we try to support the youth of our communities and
that's always been my
we love
motto.
having
I don't do any advertisement. All my money I put in advertisement is for the schools, uh, all the sports teams, and we do a lot with like the Girl Scouts on in the winter. They're out there every weekend.
Boy
The girls, Boy
Scouts.
Scouts,
We do a lot for the police and fire
police and
companies
fire,
around
the
us.
local. Oh, all my advertisement is through the local schools and
Mhm.
police and fire and things like that through the
Yeah.
community.
And that's so important because here are two people that personify what it means to give back to the community. I mean, you come from this different background when you graduate, and then all of a sudden you decide to take over a 70-year-old business, and then your mission is to feed people and give them what they want. And as I said, today's bagel is not grandmom or grandpa's bagel for sure. And then to really support the community, which is so important because a lot of businesses set up, they take from the community, but they don't necessarily
Give
want or
back.
desire to give back to the community.
Yeah, yeah, we do. That's what I do. All my money I spend, it's through the schools and through the local baseball teams and things like that. And not only that, we hire a lot of high school and college kids. So they
Yeah.
come in on the weekends, sophomores, juniors, seniors in high school, a couple college kids that really run the place when we're not there, and they do fantastic job. And people always say like we're very busy on the weekends, and people are like, we don't mind waiting because everybody's so funny, our staff is great, and we just have a good time. We really
Yeah.
have a good time.
Yeah.
So how did the product line expand then from those 70 years ago, where I think you would agree that it was probably plain bagel, poppy and sesame, and maybe, cinnamon raisin. I mean, there are 22 varieties of bagels, I think, that you offer.
Yes, we have over 22 varieties and we have over 14 different cream cheeses that we add seasonals into. So
Yeah.
at least up to 20 flavors now. Like we just started a banana pudding one. We've got some Reese's going on, some Oreo going on. So we like
We
to
get pretty crazy with it.
change things up and be creative. And the kids are really inspire us. The kids that work for us are very creative. I mean, we got kids in engineering school, we have kids in business school, we have kids in nursing school, and they just love food and they find ideas. And then we put our recipes together and we spit out some really interesting things. And the kids are really the ones that give us that idea of expansion because they want to try new things and they want our family to succeed because they're like part of our family. So they're very invested in the creative side and we allow them to run with that. It makes them feel, important. It's
Sure.
really, yeah, they're invested. They know we're
Yeah,
invested, of course, so they're invested and they come up with a lot of the ideas.
sure. So how does, I mean, give me an idea then, how does a flavored bagel go from concept idea to actual reality? I mean, are the two of you sitting in your kitchen there testing these
Uh,
things? I mean, do you have a team of testers that say, well, let's try a bubblegum bagel? I mean, how does that happen?
I think through the years, a lot of it's just talking and say, hey, let's try this. Like we never had an Asiago bagel,
Right.
and started that probably about what
Six or seven
six or
years
seven
ago.
years ago. It's one of our top sellers right now.
It's just a baking
Just
team, and then we just
and a
add a
lot of
little of this,
times,
take a little of this out. I mean, we have a very secret recipe, so we can't
so
share too much, but
for
it's
example,
for the occasion.
we have a sandwich called the nitwit, and that was started. I used to go back to the young kids and be like, "Come on, don't be a nitwit." So the kids all started a nitwit sandwich, which was a pork roll, egg and cheese with a hash brown on it. That's one of our top selling sandwiches,
Yeah.
and it was just
It was what the
things like
nitwits
that.
ate. Since the
Yeah,
nitwits ate that,
the
we
kids
called
used to
it.
eat that, so they called it the nitwit sandwich, and it's been on our menu for 7 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
The Is there a LaSalle bagel? That's what I want to know. I mean, there
It's a
should
new
be
Well,
a LaSalle bagel.
we're actually in the process. Hopefully, end of April, we're going to have a brand new Moore Bagels and Coffee Company. It's going to be called now. So we're expanding into the coffee business starting in the end of April. We're doing another one in Marlton. It's actually in the same shopping center, Plaza 70, but we bought the two buildings next to us, and we're expanding, and construction's almost done. So it's going to be Moore Bagels and Coffee Company. It's going to be awesome.
Right. And there will be a LaSalle featured
Yeah.
sandwich at that new shop coming after Easter.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
Yes.
The as I said, most people will either put butter, generally speaking, butter or cream cheese,
Mm.
basic on a bagel. But today, and even looking at your menu, you can really get anything imaginable um, on your bagel, and I think that shows the evolution of the bagel and the bagel sandwich over all these years. I mean, then there was a time, after cream cheese and butter, then there was like, you could get a scrambled egg on a bagel. But now some of the things that you offer
Yeah.
are remarkable.
Yeah, we put a
Crazy.
cheesesteak on a bagel.
Yeah.
We put
Cinnamon butter. We
cinnamon
up to that
butter.
cinnamon butter on a cinnamon raisin bagel is probably one of the best things you'll ever have, or a French toast.
Yeah.
It's we have Oreo
We have
cookies,
we have chocolate chip cookie
a
crunch
full big size chocolate chip cookie on a bagel.
with
So we
Nutella.
really went pretty crazy.
Yeah, we have different fruits and
Fruity Pebbles
yeah,
with
cereal.
strawberry cheese.
Yeah, pretty creative.
Yeah.
You always
really
gotta
have to stay on top.
Yeah,
So we try to stay on top of everything, and
we also
Yeah.
try to offer things that the kids are interested in eating, because there's so many picky eaters of little guys now. So we try to tap into their market, and then a
gluten,
lot of gluten-free options at the new place too, because there's
a lot
lots
of
of
gluten
allergies
free.
to choose.
So you really have to, cater to every customer.
And everybody
Sure.
should try something different when they come in. I know we got our typical sausage, egg, and cheese people, but we try to push them into, let's try a lox. Or
Throw a hash
let's try
brown
a
on it,
hash brown.
you know?
Yeah, so
My nickname was Patty Mo growing up, and we have a Patty Mo sandwich, which is also the hangover cure for the weekends. A lot of people
Yeah.
like to say.
yeah,
So it's a pork roll, egg and cheese with bacon and sausage, and
it's a meat lover.
it's a meat lover. It's pretty good. It's a
Yeah.
big seller.
Yeah, and I make all the chicken salad. We have a banging chicken salad sandwich
Yeah.
that people seem to love.
We were
so.
actually written up a couple years ago in the
Inquirer.
Philadelphia Inquirer on where the chefs in South Jersey, the big chefs, like to eat, and they all raved about our lox sandwich and our chicken salad sandwiches.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
our popular ones.
I mentioned the chicken salad sandwich to my wife earlier today, and she's like, "Yeah, the next time you go to your doctor's appointment, you're going to need to stop there and get one." She loves chicken salad, so that's definitely on my honey-do list. Next time I'm out in the Marlton area, have you tried something, or have you come up or concocted something that really didn't work for whatever reason? I mean, people might come in and have ideas, and you try, and it's like, yeah, that's really not going to work.
So,
Yeah, I mean, some things, I think back in the day we did a couple like roast beef sandwiches and things like that. And you also got to remember the timing on roast beef. You got to sell it right away or it goes bad. So a lot of stuff like that, food that goes bad, I keep my strategy is keep it stupid simple. I don't do salads. I don't do paninis. I don't think of going to a bagel shop to get all that stuff. So I want to sell dozens, cream cheeses, breakfast sandwiches, and just keep it simple,
also keep it affordable.
affordable as well.
We like a family to be able to come in for breakfast and pay $20 and get a really good
They get
meal.
4 sandwiches,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know inflation and everything is getting expensive, and
Yeah.
of course we have to monitor that, but it's really important for us to keep it affordable.
Try
for
to
the
keep
people.
it, yeah. I mean,
Definitely.
right now in Marlton, we for years it's been $15 a dozen, and you can't get $15 dozens anywhere. Everybody's in
Right.
20, 21, $22,
Mhm.
So we try to not really do too much inflation.
Yeah.
Sure. And that's what I was going to ask. Are people coming in and buying sandwiches? I know this is a general question. Or are they coming in and buying a dozen of bagels to take home? Or
Lots of dozens.
We sell so many dozens.
Lots of
I mean,
dozens.
yeah, tons.
I mean, they freeze well, and some people feed their kids their lunch. That's their lunch for the whole week. And
Yeah.
sure.
We actually have people that grew up in the Marlton area and they live out of state, and their family members are going to Virginia, going to North Carolina, and they pick up their dozens and they say they freeze so well. So
Yeah.
I tell them to cut them in half, put them in a plastic bag, and freeze them. So we have a lot of customers from all over the country, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is not to throw a curveball here, but in this day and age, You don't find too many businesses that really have brick and mortar locations. Everything is online, and
Right.
you can order this online and you can have it shipped clear across, the
Right.
world. I mean, might that be part of your game plan or your future endeavor
I've actually been people from Canada it's very weird. Marlton is a very weird location. It seems like everybody from all over the world comes there. I've had
wow.
customers from all over the world, and I get a lot of people from Canada that are like, "Hey, do you think you could ship me up a dozen?" And I know some of the bigger bagel shops in New York and all are doing it. So we were actually with our new location that we're about to move into, we're really going to contemplate doing that. So we'll see how much work it's going to be. But I think that might be an option coming up.
Yeah.
Overnight is the key, and it's expensive for
It's
people,
expensive.
and we all that like we just talked about cost
Yeah, I don't
efficiently,
like
so
charging a lot. I mean, it's like
Sure.
$50
it's
a
hard.
dozen.
Yeah.
Send them somewhere.
But some
Yeah.
people, I mean, to bring a piece of their nostalgia of their home that are from the Northeast area, it might just bring them some comfort and they're willing to pay it. So
Yeah,
it's just a lot of work and we're busy people. We have
yeah,
children, so we're always with our kids and with our
yeah.
families. And
That's what I tell
so
all my
we
employees
try
that
to balance
we
it.
have a lot of employees that have been with, some of our head bakers or, they have families and all. I said, no matter what, get to your kids' game,
Yeah,
get to your,
Mhm.
be with your family because,
right.
we got enough employees that can step in and take over for you.
Yeah, that's so important.
Yeah.
What When we strip away all the layers of flavors of bagels, I mean, whether it's, blueberry or cinnamon raisin or whatever, what makes for a good bagel? I mean, not that I'm going to go downstairs in the kitchen right now and try whipping up my own batter for a bagel, but I mean, really, what makes more bagels stand out from some of the other that are out there? I mean, what is that? What makes for a good bagel?
I think when I first uh, learned how to make bagels, and the guy that had been doing it for years and years and years at my shop, it's the ingredients. You can't cheap on the ingredient. You can't cheap like a lot of times you see pizza shops and going for cheaper flour. I mean, I'll give you that. We use all Trump's flour. It's expensive, but it's the best flour out there, and we get our ingredients from a shop in New York. And you can't miss any of the ingredients. You really can't.
Right. And you
So
can't use preservatives. We don't
yeah,
put any preservatives in our food at all.
yeah. I mean,
And everything that we try, I mean, we try to get blueberries fresh in the
yeah,
summertime and freeze them and keep them
yeah,
that are local products.
yeah.
So anything local that we can buy and shopping small, because we're small, that's really important to us too. And I think it comes down to quality.
I also think in this area we're very fortunate because the water. The water
Water,
does make a great bagel. So I think
Hmm.
in New Jersey, New York area, we're very fortunate. So
something in
Now,
the water.
something in the water.
that's what they say, right?
But the biggest thing,
Uh,
you can't skimp on ingredients. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta spend the money and just keep everything the same. Always the same. Your dough's got to be fresh every day. You know what I mean?
Yep.
so give me an idea then, and I know both Pat and Mary, you're at the top, you're the bosses there, but give me an idea of what your day is like. I mean, are you up at, I was thinking this morning, I remember the old part in the competition reference here, the Dunkin' Donuts, the guy,
Time
got,
to make the
time
donut.
to,
I'm gonna
time to
take
make the
donuts.
donuts. And I'm
Yep.
thinking, all right,
Yeah.
Pat, are you up at 3 o'clock in the morning and
Well,
pulling your
here's how
backside?
I actually get interviewed for it's very weird for like a lot of like schools and college kids for some reason they want to interview me. But my biggest thing is when I took over the Marlton shop, I said I'm dedicating 5 years of my life. I said I'm going to be there every day. My first year, I was there at 3 o'clock in the morning, and we closed at 2. But I would be there just the first year. I was going to the shop, shopping, doing everything, just making sure getting to meet the customers. That's the biggest thing. I tell anyone that's going to start a business, you got to have a plan and you got to be there. You got to be there
Mhm.
every single day. You got to meet everybody that walks in. It's funny, a funny story. I'm not working the front as much anymore on the weekends, but some of the young high school kids say, "How do you know everyone?" And I'm like, I was here for 5, 6 years every single day. So you really got to, remember the names of your customers. I know everything. I know their kids. I know, you really got to dedicate. You got to be on top of everything, keep your place clean, and just be in there and making sure it's ran right, and you'll be successful.
Hard
Yeah,
work.
Hard work. I'm not
absolutely.
there as much. I'm not there as much anymore, so I'm not going to lie to you.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's
Um,
there every day. It's an
Yeah,
everyday
it's an everyday thing.
because we're only closed like 2 to 3 days a year,
Yeah,
so we're
it's an
there all
mhm.
everyday. Yeah.
Right. I'm
And
still a teacher,
people,
so I'm always at
I
work.
was going to ask, yeah, and you're still teaching, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my true love, and that's something that, the LaSalle education that I received really prepared me for the field, and I feel like I've excelled over the past 24 years, and I'm just not ready to let it go yet. But when I get to that 25 years in a year or two, I'm gonna
She's
kiss it
retired.
lovely goodbye. But yeah, I love bagels. I mean, bagels have been outshining the education world recently because I have a fabulous time in the shop.
You
Like
have fun.
it's
It's
so
like
much
being a
fun.
kid, your
Yeah.
high school job.
Yeah, they have music blasting and everyone's laughing and telling jokes and working hard and interacting with people from the town, and it's just a great
We're
time.
the best customers.
Yeah, we really do
Best
have
customers.
amazing customers. Like we have
Yeah.
we get Christmas cards, we get presents, we get birthday wishes, like we get people coming in, and I mean my husband won't say this, but he's like a local celebrity. I mean, people come in that place not just for a bagel, they come in for the conversation. They come in if they're not feeling good. I mean, it's kind of like a pick me up. So
Mhm.
it's a good
The
place
kids
to
are always
be.
yelling at me when I'm running the register because I take too long because I'm talking to all my
Yeah,
customers.
the
I
lineup.
hold the line up.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, kids will do that to you. That's for
Uh,
sure. Yeah, they'll do that.
They'll
Yeah.
tell you what they're
they will.
thinking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And people could come in and sit there at both locations right now. They could come in there and sit and eat there. And of course, you then have those customers that come in and walk up to the counter and just take their order and then leave. You could do
Yeah.
both, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
the new shop, we're gonna have so much seating.
A lot more seating,
That's the main reason why we're only moving like a few doors down. It's
but
in
we're
the same
expanding. It's
complex.
two, yeah.
Right. But this place is gonna have booths and tables and a lot more time for people to chill and talk to their friends and meet up with their neighbors or their parents or grandparents. And so
Yeah.
it's much more family oriented if we have more space.
Yeah.
Because right
Mhm.
now it's really tight. It's a small little
Or on Marlton.
cozy shop.
Yeah.
So
Moorestown's pretty big.
Morristown's big. There's a lot of seating there, and people like to hang out, and kids do studying there, and people do work there that work along the strip. So we just like to be open to anyone that wants to come and sit with us and hang out. We advocate for that. So yeah.
In the few minutes that we have left, and this was a fast half hour for sure, but I would like to drill home the importance of a great college education and what type of advice can you give students, whether it's LaSalle here or any other school. What type of advice can you give them? I mean, here you both set out on two different career paths than where you are right now. Although Mary is still teaching, but Pat, criminal justice major. I mean, what type of advice can you give students as they contemplate their future? I mean, what you might want to do is great, and you may have the opportunity to do it, but then again, there may come that fork in the road where you find yourself saying, well, let me try this and go this way. What type of advice can you give?
Advice
Well,
together. I
here's-
know what we're thinking.
I always say create the
Create
life you
wanna
want to live. So that's what I tell all the interviews I do, or to the kids that are writing papers for the local schools and high schools and colleges. Create the life you want to live. If you want to have off on weekends, and you don't want to have a salary job, you want to make as much money as possible. It's all on you. So, like I said, you have to have a plan. I had a plan. I dedicated 5 years of my life to it, and it's tough, but you got to be there every day. You got to be on top of your employees. And now people, when I see them, and I haven't seen them in a while, they say, your place, when you're not there, it runs like a well-oiled machine.
Mhm.
So create the life you want to live. If you want to be your own boss, which I think is the best thing, I'll never go back to working for anyone again.
Sure.
But, I'm the boss. I do what I want. I make the money I want. And in the bagel world or the restaurant world, it's tough. It's every day, but you will have a good life. You will have a good career, good career.
And
And not only that, I just bought these buildings, so we have two children. We hope that, they take when we retire, they take it over, generational, business.
yeah. And I would advocate for kids to work for themselves.
Yeah.
I really would. I would say if you have a dream, save your money and invest in yourself, no one
Yeah.
else. Invest in
Mm.
yourself and invest in your family and surround yourself with people that you trust.
But I also think
Definitely.
LaSalle High School, and Mary's from the South Jersey area, St. Joe's, and then LaSalle University, it really helped us.
Catholic education was very impactful for both of us.
It was great.
It really taught us a moral code of life, and it taught us how to appreciate family and friends, and it taught us how to grow by using those as your strengths.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
with God on our side and with good people surrounding us and with a dedication to hard work, anything's possible.
And I think when you become a business owner, just do the right thing. Do
Yeah.
whatever the right thing is. So
Be
when you are going to have problems with employees or customers, just do what the right thing is, you know? You do the right thing, you'll be fine.
And you both have proved that that here you are, successful business people in South Jersey, and not necessarily have a background in business, but you continue to learn how to
Right.
do it as you went along. And that is so important because when you graduate, learning doesn't stop on commencement day. That process.
That's the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's why I said being there for, you know, every day for 5 years, you learn everything about your trade. So if
Yeah.
you dedicate yourself to whatever you get into, if it's a restaurant, construction, a lawyer, just dedicate yourself to, you know, building your brand.
Yeah. I want to mention the two locations again of Moore Bagels. The original, right now, and they'll be moving down just a few doors from
Doors down.
65 East Route 70, which is Plaza 70. So you'll know where you are when you're there. So that's the Marlton location. And the Moorestown location is 65 East Main Street, correct?
Same numbers. Isn't that weird?
It is. I saw that today. I'm like, is this a typo or what? But it's like, yeah,
Is it-
I mean, talk about, you know,
Destiny.
yeah. Gee, what an uplifting and moving interview this has been. Not just because, you know, we're all LaSalle grads here, but your story is so impactful on so many different levels. And hats off to you, both Pat and Mary. You are a credit to your families, to yourself, to LaSalle, to your communities, and keep up the great work that you're doing because we need more people like you out there. And what a tremendous opportunity this has been to sit down and chat with you. And I am coming into the Plaza 70 location soon to see you too. So again, thanks for your time.
It's on us. It's on us. It's on
Don't
us.
worry about that. I want to come in and I want to see for myself what Moore Bagels is all about, and look forward to talking with you again in the future. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you.
Go Explorers.
Go
Go
Explorers.
Explorers. That's right. Again, ladies and gentlemen, my guests have been Pat and Mary Moore from Moore Bagels. You can find out more information online at the website is moorebagels.com.
Yep.
Yes.
Correct? Okay, you can find more information about their not only their two locations now, but where they're going in the future and the great work that they're doing for the community. Until next time.
Big news in probably the summer. So some big news in the summer coming out.
All right. Well, we're going to hold you to it. We'll get you back on and talk about that come September. Okay. Is that a deal?
That's a deal.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay. Thank you so much. Until
Bye.
next time, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for being with us here on the Philly Factor. My name's Paul Perrello. We'll catch you next time around.